my parents' house. Me and my boyfriend of 4 years, closer to 4.5, I think, split up a couple of days ago. I want to say I'm doing well, but I don't think I am. We obviously live together, which makes breaking up very hard. I'm lucky enough that my parents live quite close. Well, they don't. It's like an hour on the train. But in the grand scheme of things, I suppose that's quite close. So I've run off down to Essex just to give us both a little bit of time and space. It is what it is, I suppose. As far as breakups go, this was the most mature and amicable thing that I could have ever hoped for. Fun fact, every other relationship I've been in has ended over text. So this was a nice change of pace to have something that felt like it was actually nurturing and both of us were seeking closure. It's horrible and I don't want to be in this position, but the show must go on. I feel like I've been asking the universe for change for so long, and now that it's happening, I'm like, no, I didn't want it. I didn't want it. Take it back. Coming home was definitely the right choice to make. Packing my bag and leaving. Like, although it wasn't like an angry, like, storming out, packing my bag kind of thing. Leaving was hard. But literally as soon as that train pulled up, I have been wrapped up in cotton wool and treated like a baby bird. My family have really just been amazing. I'm so lucky. So lucky. Like, my dad made soup this morning. He got up at 7 and he was like, I'm gonna make some soup because Elle likes soup. And then when my sister woke me up this morning, she took away my phone. She took me downstairs, force-fed me a bagel, even though I don't like eating breakfast. And then all but stripped me before putting me into the shower. And it's like, I would have done all those things all on my own. I really truly would have. But she's always been the mum out of the two of us. I call her my little big sis because she's technically littler than me, but she's always been taller than me. And more often than not, she does act like my big sister. It's a good little dynamic. Oh, hello, sir. Oh, never mind. I'm so anxious about the next few months and what they're going to bring because I don't want to live in my flat on my own. I don't want to live in my flat without him. So that means I have to move flat. Money is so tight at the moment. Putting a move in there is not ideal. But it's all character building, isn't it? It's good for the plot, I suppose. It sucks because I don't really want the plot anymore. No, on second, I've lost the plot. I know things will get easier. And I know that time and space heal everything. But I am in the eye of the storm right now and everything just feels very hard. I brought a journal down to Essex with me. I haven't been writing in this one long. The 16th of January. I'm probably about 10 pages in. And I wanted this to just be a place where I write my feelings. Because I'm not very good at talking about my feelings at all. Put it in a little filing cabinet in my head and then accidentally on purpose lose the key. I don't want to talk about them. I don't like being vulnerable. It feels easy like this because I'm technically just talking to myself, aren't I? Hello, mate. Come on, have a get. Come on. You rat bastard, what are you? This is Buddy. My parents have 4 dogs. None of them are trained. None of them come back on a walk when you ask them to come back. And you are the youngest of them all, aren't you? He's not even a year yet. Everyone says you're not much of a cuddler, but you're doing well quite now. Doing well quite now? You're doing quite well now. So yeah, I brought this journal with me because I was like, right now all I need to be doing is getting my feelings out somewhere. And although my family have been amazing and they are wrapping me up in cotton wool and everyone is holding me whilst I cry and all of that jazz, I still can't help but feel like a burden anytime I feel an emotion. So it's good to have an outlet for this. I really did want to bring my scrapbook, my non-blank page journal. I'd already jammed a rucksack and a tote bag full of just crap that I'm not going to need because I'm only going to be here for 3 days. But if there's one thing about me, it's that I will overpack for things. And I was like, no, I only need one journal. If I'm taking all this other crap, one journal is going to be fine. And realistically, it should probably be the one where I'm going to be writing about all of my feelings and not the one where I'm just trying to make a page pretty. I know the next couple of months is just going to be so much hard work, just figuring out how to stand on my own 2 feet getting used to a daily routine that doesn't end with me getting into bed with my best mate. That's gonna be really hard. And the hardest thing is, like, I know it's all for the best. Like, I genuinely think this is the right decision. Not just for me, but like for him as well. Why does that make it worse? I want to be pissed off. I want to be angry. I want to be able to sit down with my mates and have a bitch and give them the tea and hear my mates make jokes about the whole situation. And I just don't think that's going to happen, because it's not been that way. I'm frustrated because I don't know what's next. I don't know where to put my face. I don't know how to deal with this situation. I need a handbook, or like a bite-size GCSE BBC how to get through a breakup guide. That's what I need. Do you think they have those? I don't. I'm gonna stop chatting to you and I'm gonna do a bit of journaling, try and figure some stuff out. What you got, mate? Can I see? Oh no, okay. Anyway, talk to you soon. You ready for this? Puppies! Walkies! You want to go on a walk? My God. How often do you get the opportunity to smush a banana like that? Treacle, how you doing? I am back in the flat. I'm back in Norwich. It feels weird. I'm not gonna lie, it feels weird. But I've spent a lot of energy just kind of focusing on getting through the days, kind of thing. And I know that sounds so dramatic, but it is what it is, isn't it? He stayed with some friends for a couple of nights just to kind of give me some space whilst I settle back in. It's been really weird being here, but I suppose until I figure something else out, it's just gonna have to be something that I deal with. He warned me that he took down all of like the photos of us that were like scattered around the flat, because he was finding it hard to have them just around when he was here and I was at my parents'. He warned me that he was doing it, but coming back to an empty flat and just seeing all these blank spaces, God, that sucked. It sucked so hard. But my friends came over last night and they bought treats and they bought flowers, and I don't know what I did to deserve them, because they just scooped me up and told me it was all going to be all right. I know they're not wrong, but it's just hard to believe it right now, isn't it? If there's one thing that's come from all of this, it's that I cannot ever underappreciate the support network that I have. Everyone that I've spoken to since this has all gone down has just opened their arms to me and just been so kind and so caring, and it's just like I'm just so lucky. But I feel like I wanted to chat to you a little bit about why I'm doing this, because I realise it's not a normal thing to do, but if I'm honest, this is making me feel less alone. And I know I've just said I've got like such an amazing support network, and that realistically I'm not alone. Wherever I turn, there is someone that is going to try and do their best to cheer me up. But I think there's a little bit of comfort for me knowing that someone else might watch this and also be going through the same kind of thing. And so it kind of feels like, in a weird sense, we're going through this together. Even if that someone that relates to this isn't watching it for like a year after I've posted it. I'm not actually planning on posting this until like in the future, where I feel like I'm good. Do you know what I mean? I want this to feel like the whole journey. It's not going to be the whole journey because realistically, like, this has been a massive chunk of my life and I'm going to need to be processing this for a long, long time. But I really, really hope if someone out there is watching this right now and they are going through the same kind of thing as me, that there is a little bit of comfort by the end of this video that, do you know what? I'm all right, and you will be too. I know that's a bit lame and I know it's a bit soppy and wanky, but I feel like it's got to be for something. Like, someone's got to get something good out of this. And like, I know this is the best thing for both me and him, but like, if someone else can get something good out of this all happening, I'd like that. I've been doing a lot of journaling, surprise, surprise. I definitely made the right choice in bringing down the journal that like is just writing all my feelings in, because it's just been such a great outlet for me to kind of make my thoughts tangible and have them on the page and then read them back after I've written them and be like, yeah, that is how I feel. And for someone that, like, as I've said before, like, I struggle being vulnerable, it's been really great. I don't really know what else to say. Like, we all know I love journaling. I've been listening to a lot of music, which is not unusual for me, but like the amount that I am is maybe a little bit unusual. Like, I've got my earphones in pretty much all the time at the moment because I just need something to kind of like keep going in my head, do you know what I mean? I've made 2 playlists. I have one playlist for like an in my feels and like kind of sad girl era, and then I have another playlist of songs that have like popped up on my like suggested shuffle, which are a little bit more like, yeah, I got this kind of thing. And I'm not quite ready to listen to the playlist of the songs that I have made from that one, but it's nice to know that eventually when I do feel ready, I've got like a curated thing of music that I will be able to listen to and it will feel good. I'll link them both down below, but I'm a bit insecure about my music taste because it's so like cliche, poppy, indie girl. There's a lot of Maisie Peters in there, which obviously no one's surprised about. But The Good Witch came out and I was like, wow, this is such a great album. Like, I was like, this is like a life-defining album. However, I couldn't relate to any of the songs because I was in a relationship. So now that I'm coming out the other side of one, I can relate to all the songs and I already know all the words, and it's been really great to listen to Maisie's music and feel it, do you know what I mean? And it not just be like a la 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 good song, it's like a oof. Also a lot of Paramore. I'm listening to so much Paramore, which feels really good because I've loved Paramore since I was a kid, so it feels like I'm going back to me, going back to my roots, because I do think at some point over the last year and a half I've lost some parts of myself, and I think I'd like to work on getting her back. Because that's the most important thing to come out of all of this, is that I create a nurturing friendship with myself. Because I'm the only person that's ever going to be with me for the rest of my life. So I've got to like her. I've got to be friends with her. I've got to care for her the way she deserves to be cared about. So yeah, that's my update. I'll probably talk to you in a couple more days. Something that I really wasn't expecting. I didn't realise like how quickly and frequently the kind of like realisations would hit me, if that makes sense. Like obviously I'm not going to get into nitty gritty and stuff, But like, speaking candidly, I feel like I've had rose-coloured glasses on for a very, very long time, and I do feel like they've been torn off. Realistically, I know that a fundamental problem of mine is that I will love someone until they tell me to stop, and so now those like rose-coloured glasses have come off. I'm looking back at things and I'm realising each day in a different way, just like the dysfunction of it all is a bit odd. Just because for a hot minute I think I've been really trying my best to keep things afloat, but I kind of think that's where the problem lies. And I know that these things flip-flop and back and forwards and stuff, and maybe in a week's time I won't feel even how I'm feeling right now. But today is the 2-week mark and I'm exhausted. I am so tired. My sleeping's not been great, obviously. I do think his sleep is worse because he's currently sleeping on the sofa, which I do feel guilty for, but also I would rather have the bed. I think I'm learning a lot about myself. I know I've still got a long way to go, but I do think that slowly and surely I'm getting there. I went to a house viewing yesterday. That was really exciting. I'm moving in with my friend Fred. I need to get out of this flat, like, just as soon as possible. Like, me and him still living in like close quarters to each other is just more difficult than it's worth. And I don't really think it's doing me any good having like that constant reminder and also coming back to the home that we had, and it still being the same, but neither of us being the same. Moving out into a new place will definitely feel like a fresh start, a new leaf, and will not just be memories and hauntings every time I look around, because that's what it is at the moment. Ups and downs. I know it's not linear. It's gonna get worse before it gets better, but it's all part of the journey, innit? Life's a climb, but the view's gonna be great. All that jazz. So I've just taken my lunch break at work, which I wasn't going to take a lunch today, but I've just got an email from the landlord of the flat I viewed yesterday, and they're going to take us on. I'm so happy. I don't think I realised how much my living situation was really stressing me out, just because obviously whilst me and my ex are trying to make things like as smooth as possible, it's just living together after all of this has happened, it's not worth it, and it's just like haunted is the word I keep using. It's just like everything of our relationship is just there, and so I'm just really feels like a new chapter is about to start, and I can't wait to decorate. I'm not spiralling, but I do think I haven't stopped thinking for about 2.5 weeks. Like, I have not had a moment of peace in my own head. My anxiety is through the roof at the moment, and I'm just stressed, which is ridiculous because I booked a week off work for my retail job over Valentine's Day because I thought we were going to go away for Valentine's Day. Spoiler alert, plot twist, I ended up getting dumped. You have to laugh, otherwise it's just too ridiculous, isn't it? So I've had the week off work at my retail job, and I've only had my marketing job to kind of like work around. Like, the rest of my time has been filled with me just like getting to grips and taking care of myself. But I'm still just so tense and stressed all the time. And I'm coming to terms with knowing that like big changes coming. Like, me and Fred are going to be moving in together. I'm going to be leaving this flat. I'm going to do a massive declutter because I've got so much stuff and I don't need to take all of this stuff into a new place. I want a fresh start. I want to feel like it's a new chapter. But there's just so much. And everyone was like, first of all, you're gonna have the sadness, then you're gonna have the anger, and then it'll be loneliness, and then things will get better from there. No one told me that there would just be like constant gut-wrenching anxiety and stress. No one warned me, and I feel stupid sitting here being like, I wanted a warning for this, because life doesn't come with a warning label and I can't expect it to, and it's just a lot. And I think it's like a little bit of whiplash because like when me and my ex were together, like our life was very, like, I don't want to say mundane, but like there was a lot of structure and like a big focus on stability, like a lot of daily routine kind of thing. So like to go from that kind of like plodding along, getting things done, to more chaotic, not knowing if he's going to be in the flat, not knowing if I'm going to see him, not knowing if I'm going to bump into him in town, not knowing if I'm going to bump into his friends in town, like, and obviously because it's amicable and because it's the best thing for both of us, and we know that, like, I don't want to be a dick to anyone, but also I don't know what he's saying to people, like, and that's just something that's just out of my control, and that's fine. I just don't know where to put my face, and I don't know. It's not a spiral. I'm doing okay, but everything just feels like a lot. It feels like a lot. It feels like a lot. It feels just a lot. But I am going to counter that because my mum came to Norwich today. She was like, we've had this in the diary since like November. She was always coming up. It just kind of felt like the universe was doing some divine timing there, being like, you need to see your mum. It was nice to have like a day to look forward to, seeing my mum, and my auntie came up too. And it was just a really nice day. And my mum just looked at me at one point in the day and she was like, "You're handling this better than I thought you would." And I think that's nice. I think I'm handling this better than I thought I would. I'm not going to say I'm doing well. Good, not great is my current response when anyone's asking me how I am, because I don't want to be just slipping into old habits of going, yeah, I'm fine, how are you? You look great today. Yeah, like, no, I need to be a little bit more upfront with people about how I actually feel, because congruency is a very good thing and I have a real aversion to it. Anyway, chat soon. I have bitten off more than I can chew, and I started doing a declutter for Vinted because obviously I'm moving. So Lolly's here and she's going to body double me putting things on Vinted, but it's so much stuff. It's going to be alright. We don't have to get it all done tonight.
We can do.
We can though. That'll be exciting. Look at you talking on camera.
Oh, I thought
Abby's building furniture and I'm crocheting. That's all the context you're getting.
I don't know where this is meant to be going because there's no drawers.
It's got a flat base, so up the butt.
Which butt?
Your butt.
Oh, that's fine then.
Did you use one of those scrap packs from Hobbycraft to make this?
No, not Hobbycraft, from Aldi.
Shut up,
Do you
really?
know Aldi?
I've heard of Aldi.
It's like Lidl, but... Actually, it's like Lidl.
Is the difference, like, what is the certifiable difference? Are they owned by the same people?
Right, here's the thing.
Same
I
colours?
think Lidl has more money, because I went to Amsterdam and there was a Lidl there. There wasn't an Aldi. Yeah, there wasn't an Aldi. So that makes you think.
Right.
You know what I really hate recently?
What do you really hate recently?
In supermarkets, the local Asda's just done the same.
Yeah.
You have to have your receipt to get out of the shop.
What?
You have to, even if you don't buy something, you have to get a receipt to scan to get out of the shop.
So you just enter and you're a hostage until you've bought something?
Yeah.
So how do you get out if you didn't buy something?
I don't know. I'm not trying to get out. I'm too scared. I'm like, Jesus.
No one lifts us on the tail.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hi. So today is a month from the split. I move out in 2 days, which is mad. But I am happy to report that I am doing all right. It's definitely been a process, and by no means do I have everything figured out, because I don't. But I'm doing all right. I rewatched BoJack Horseman pretty much the week of the split happening, because in a weird way it's just such a comfort watch for me. I know it's like kind of awful, but like it's so good. I love BoJack Horseman. Anyway, there's one bit in BoJack where Wanda says, "When you see the world through rose-tinted glasses, all the red flags just look like flags." And that has stuck with me, like to the point where it feels like it's tattooed on the inside of my eyelids, because it's made me realise that for a very, very long time I have had like a tendency to be like toxic positivity about my life, being like, nope, can't feel anything bad, we're feeling good, like we can't feel bad, we don't need to. And I think a big thing to come from this whole process is that like it's actually all right for me to feel bad sometimes. It's normal, it's natural. I think because I have had problems with my mental health since I was young, that my way of like coping with it was just to kind of deny it, and to be like, oh well, if it's not a depressive episode, then everything's fine. But that's not how things work. So there's that. I definitely went through an angry phase. I was so angry. I really felt like everything was unfair. Like, I know I began this off by saying it was all very amicable, but amicable and mature doesn't mean that the decision was mutual. And I think to begin with, I'd really convinced myself that it was very mutual, when in actual fact, like, I got like 2 weeks down the line and I was like, hang on a second. No. I had to feel that rejection of being broken up with. I had to come to terms with the fact that I've got to move out of the home that I've made for us, whilst he gets to stay here, which isn't a problem. I get why he's staying, but also it just, in the moment, it felt like I was being hard done by there, even though moving out was definitely my choice. Like, I'm not saying anything I was thinking was making sense. And I think I felt like it was just all very unfair. To put it into a metaphor, because we all know how much I love doing that, the way I'm kind of picturing the breakup in my head is that if his experience of the breakup was like a pint of squash, mine is a smaller shot glass of just like the squash when it's undiluted. So he's probably had all these feelings for a long time, kind of dragged out a little bit, but I'm actually kind of coming out of this lucky in a sense, because mine's over and done with quicker. Do you know what I mean? Like, my life is doing a full 180 and I do get to have a fresh start, and I do get to have just a new leaf. Do you know what I mean? It's a weird thing to think about, but I do think I'd prefer to have a 180 than just like a knowing gradual decline, or like a dulling. Do you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, I think this was probably the best thing for me. Valentine's Day was awful. Because obviously we split up at the beginning of February, so Valentine's Day coming 2 weeks after that, just, oh my god, that sucked so hard. I stayed in bed until 4 p.m. and I truly just wallowed in all of the feelings that I was feeling. And again, I kind of feel like that was the best thing for me. Something my friend Fred said was that the only way I'm going to get through this is to get through it and feel the feelings. And so that is what I've been just trying to do. If I'm feeling something, I'm not going to push it down. I'm just going to have a good cry if I need it. And that's all right, that's fine. But I do think I'm going to look back on this and be kind of grateful that Valentine's Day, like the worst day of the year post-breakup, was so soon after my breakup, because it was just like, over and done with. It's out of the way. Like, I jumped that hurdle and it's cleared. It doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? Getting the house and our tenancy confirmed felt like a real turning point for me. It was like having that felt like I had hope again, that like this kind of weird liminal limbo space that I'm in right now, where we both kind of live in this flat, is only temporary. And then that kind of put things into perspective as well, because realistically I'm only going to go through this breakup once. Like, yeah, I'm going to feel these feelings because I'm only going to do this once. Like, this is all temporary. And in the grand scheme of things, like, this is a weird couple of months of a transitional period in a life that is genuinely so nurturing and so kind to me. Like, realistically, what else do I have to complain about? Like, I don't. I've also found parts of myself coming back which I just thought I'd grown out of, which is really nice. Like, I'm an extrovert through and through. I charge up by talking to people and chatting with people, and it's felt so good being able to experience that side of myself again. And I think it's been made so abundantly clear to me that the people I have in my life and the friendships that I have been building upon for the last 4 years, 5 years that I've been in Norwich, 6 years, however long, the friendships that I've been building, like, are just gorgeous. Having my friends around me, both like the new ones and the old ones, has kind of made me feel like coming into myself and figuring out who I am is a fun experience and not a chore. And I think a big problem that I've had for a very long time was that, like, I definitely had it in my head that everyone I knew was just like secretly just putting up with me, and that no one actually liked me. Which I say out loud, and it's just like, who's got the time to do that? No one does that. But I've been supported and cared for and just loved by the people in my life in a way that I wasn't expecting, and it's really affirmed to me that, like, no, I am a good person because these good people like me and I trust their judgment. So, I mean, that's besides the point. I shouldn't be putting my self-worth in other people's hands, but it's a stepping stone. It's in the right direction, okay? I know I've got a long way to go, but I think I'm on the right track. Thanks for watching. Thanks for spending this time with me. It made me feel a lot less alone, and I hope that if your situation's like mine, then I was able to provide that for you. I will see you in the moving vlog, I suppose. I'm moving in 2 days. Mad. Okay, see you later.
Smile mean you know a way out? Oh, no, I was just thinking about how you're about to hook up with that old lady.